welcome to the special occasion. We want to give thanks to the MGDOR organization. And we need a real big round of applause for our honored guest, the Dr. Hazel Dukes this afternoon. We are all here to celebrate what one person can do when they care enough to do something. It's one thing to make noise, it's another thing to understand the power of your voice for change. It's one thing to be motivated, it's another thing to mobilize. And it's one thing to be frustrated and give up. It's another to dedicate your life to making a difference. And we're here to celebrate a woman who made that choice. And she has made a difference. And we're going to make sure that this community will forever remember the contributions of Dr. Hazel Duke. Now I'm going to ask you all for one thing today. Mistakes will get made. Please know they're mistakes of the head and not of the heart. So if I call the wrong name in the wrong place, don't hit me too hard. But I'll take the blows necessary. But today's not about anybody under this umbrella except for Dr. Hazel Duke. So let it be her day.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when home unborn had died, yet with a steady beat and not our weary feet come to the place on which our fathers died. Let's come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughters. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our
we're going to invite to the podium the Reverend Sherry Pearl Migdal to bring us our invocation.
People? Okay, wonderful. Dear Father, Mother, universal God of us all, we are gathered here today to honor and celebrate the life of one of your true servants, Dr. Hazel N. Dukes. This little woman with such a big presence has brought together so many people. It is no surprise to us today that we have such a big crowd assembled, because Hazel has earned the love, respect, and appreciation of everyone here. Hazel, for each person that you have helped, we salute you. For every time you took a stand for the great cause of freedom and equal rights, we honor you. Please know that each of us, for each of us, it is an honor to stand here in the presence of God and acknowledge you for your lifetime of serving your community with perseverance and dedication. And we thank you for making this world a better place to live in. May God's blessings always be with you, Hazel. And may God bless each and every one of us here. Amen.
Wow, what a great crowd for such a significant event. Thank you for all for coming out today as we honor this wonderful and courageous woman, Dr. Hazel N. Dukes. It is an honor for us too, and that includes my wife Sherry, my son Aaron, and our entire family at the Migdal organization to be able to celebrate one of Harlem's great ones in this historic event, and to permanently affix this plaque to our building. As Lloyd Williams said the other night, Hazel is royalty. She is like the Queen of Harlem. And what a great privilege it is for us and for the people of Harlem, and for those who come to visit this incredible neighborhood, to see this and to know what she has done for racial equality, civil rights, and just common decency. And for that, we give a special thanks to Dr. Dukes. I have two major points I'd like to make in this keynote presentation that have contributed to the reasons why we have done this for Hazel. Many years ago, I had a conversation with President Bill Clinton when he was in Harlem about the people that lived here, the activism that took place here, and the incredible history and the unique architecture that made this community one of the greatest places in the city and really in the world. We discussed how many years ago I had started putting plaques up on some of my properties, identifying some of the most famous people who lived and worked here, like Billie Holiday, Fats Waller, Duke Ellington, all of whom performed at the Hot Shar Bar and Grill on 134th Street and 7th Avenue, like Sidney Poitier and Willie Mays, who played pool on 145th Street off St. Nicholas Avenue. But also for some of the people who lived and died here, like Leighton Legister, Corwin Breeden, Thornton Meechan, and even our son, Daniel Migdal, who died in Harlem 11 years ago tomorrow. All of these people have plaques made in their honor that we have affixed to various buildings, and that people from all over the world can see, read, and feel why Harlem is so important, and that what happens here affects all of minority America, and why it has done so for nearly 100 years now. All of these permanent plaques add fabric, texture, and definition to the unique history that makes up the Harlem community, one that my family has come to admire and love since coming here nearly 20 years ago. The second point is something my wife and I have discussed many times throughout the years, and that is, wouldn't it be wonderful if people could celebrate and acknowledge individuals while they are alive? Because we so often don't say all there is to say about someone until they are gone. And while we know Hazel has many more years of fight in her, we wanted to celebrate her now and make sure she and her family get the opportunity to hear and feel the love and admiration this community has for her. Thornton Meacham was someone who benefited from that idea, and he was so happy when we put his plaque and people, elected officials like Congressman Rangel and other dignitaries came to that unveiling and praised his activist work for Harlem's residents. And now we have our queen, who will also benefit from this idea, Mama Dukes. The great Dr. Hazel Dukes, a person who has fought the good fight for over 50 years, a fight that is still being fought today, and one that the Migdals are happy to join in whatever way we can. We do have our own not-for-profit Friends of Public School Harlem, Inc., an organization that over the past 15 years has raised and given away over $600,000 to Harlem's public schools and its students. This year we will give away school supplies with backpacks to over 3,000 children in this neighborhood. And we have a 5-year partnership with Superintendent Danica Rux, who might be here, and the schools in District 5. One that we sponsored to promote boys and girls leadership programs, new maker spaces, and other programs that have lost budget fundings or that never had them. So let me congratulate Hazel, because you have earned all the accolades that we are about to hear. And thank you once again for allowing us to be a part of your incredible life and history. You are a blessing to all of us, and we now bless you, your family and friends, with this beautiful plaque that should sit right here for at least the next 100 years. God bless you and everyone here today. And now, Hazel, please come up and help me with the unveiling.
Please give a huge round of applause for the one and only Charles Rangel.
Okay. 2 minutes. Sister Hazel, when I'm at occasions like this, and we are inclined to talk about the wonderful experiences that we've had in Harlem, I'm reminded of the gift of age and how blessed I am, because even though I only have 2 minutes, last Wednesday I celebrated my 89th birthday. Now the wonderful thing about that is that I have every reason to believe that I can tell you what Hazel was doing in Harlem. Ain't nobody old enough to contradict me. I always have to check to make certain my brother David Dinkins not here, but he's not here, and I'm the historian. So I won't take advantage of the great courtesy extended to me by Reverend Sullivan. But all I know is that when you have the opportunity to be on the same planet as Hazel Dukes and just watch and see what she does, how often she does it, and what her life is all about, that we thank the Migdals and Keith Lilly and anybody else that gives us an opportunity to be able to say, Hazel, thank you so much for all that you have done for so many, many, many people. So as I go to my seat and I look over the special guest speakers, I just want the Reverend Sullivan to know that if this was in his church, I would be inclined to tell the story about a pastor that had a sermon, and in the middle of that sermon, some young person got up and started walking out of the church. And the pastor stopped and said, "Young man, just where do you think you are going?" And he said, "My dear pastor, I am going to the barber shop." And the pastor said, "Young man, did you ever think about getting a haircut before you came to church?" And he said, "My beloved pastor, before you started your sermon, I didn't need it."
The one and only Honorable Congressman Charles B. Rangel. And just because Congressman Rangel is Congressman Rangel, we're going to allow him to have gone past 2 minutes. But until you reach your 89th birthday, you cannot. We want to just acknowledge Senator John Liu, who joined us today. Councilman Perkins, Bill and Pam Perkins are here. Nobody was missing Hazel's day today. And now we want to bring to the podium our controller, Scott Stringer. Hey.
Now I know I have under 2 minutes, so I'm going to go fast, right? Brian Benjamin's like, fast. But it really is an honor to be here. I apologize for not being in the suit and the proper attire, but I just came from the march, and the kids are half asleep, so I have to do it fast anyway. But Hazel, I just want to say on a personal note, I love you very much. From the moment I became borough president and you were on the committee board, as Virginia Fields knows, you are the centerpiece of this community. You are the power of what all good happens. And not only are you the centerpiece of our community, you really are what's right about our city. You've talked about issues for so long that people are finally catching up to you. So I know you've gotten so many honors as Plaque today, but on behalf of the 43rd Controller, John Liu, and me as 44th Controller of New York City, I want to give you the highest proclamation you can receive. Virginia's saying, what are you talking about? But and that is, it's not the governor, it's not the mayor, but it is the money proclamation, okay? And I want to present it to Hazel N. Dukes for her lifetime commitment in the fight for social justice and civil rights. Give a big round of applause.
All right, one more round of applause for Scott Stringer. We love to hear from the money, so we're glad that he came and made that proclamation. Thank you so much. Now we want to bring up one of the rising stars in the leadership of our community right now. Please make a big round of applause for our public advocate, Mr. Jamani Williams.
What's up, Harlem? How you doing? Thank you so much. First, thank you so much. Harlem came out, clandestinely supported me for Lieutenant Governor. I really appreciate that. And you came out one more time, openly supported me for public advocate. I really appreciate it. I know I got 2 minutes to celebrate Mama Dukes. You can't really celebrate her in 2 minutes. My proclamation is a little bit higher than Scott's. I want to make sure that's good. That's true. I'm only going to read the last whereas. And this is an honor to be here. Everybody knows Mama Dukes. If you are anybody here, you have either gotten advice and or cussed out by Mama Dukes. You're not in the family until you got cussed out by Mama Dukes. Tell the truth, you stand together. I'm happy to say that I'm part of the family. Last whereas, Dr. Hazel N. Dukes has never wavered in her commitment to the ongoing civil rights movement and activism, political action, organizational skill, and perseverance. Through countless obstacles, her dedication to civil rights, her strength in the face of adversity, and her dynamic leadership from its inception to its current incarnation. She has devoted her life's work to the liberation of oppressed people in many aspects of society, a tireless fighter in the face of injustice now. Therefore, be resolved that I, public advocate for the city of New York, Jamani D. Williams, recognize Dr. Hazel N. Dukes for a lifetime of inspiring work on behalf of civil rights and the prophet and the people of New York may further be proclaimed that today, June 30th, 2019, is the day to celebrate Dr. Hazel N. Dukes and honor her for many achievements and ongoing mission. The thing I like this is I used to hear proclamations with a lot of names on it, but thanks to Harlem, it's just mine. Jamani Williams.
We want to thank our public advocate, Jamani Williams. Jamani, we behind you. It's real hard for Harlem, for Brooklyn, that's all. We got love, though. At this point, we want to acknowledge Governor Cuomo, who cannot be here with us, but did send a letter on his behalf representing his office. But we want to bring up at this time a powerhouse in his own right, our state senator, Mr. Brian Benjamin.
I wanted to make sure. They gave me the letter. I said, that's not part of my 2 minutes. First of all, I'll be very brief. Let me, if you don't mind, I'm going to help with the time. Can I call up my State Assembly member, Inez E. Dickens, State Assembly member, Al Taylor. I heard John Lewis here. Senator John Lewis, you brothers well. We're going to kick this a little bit. We'll help you a little bit. Well, first of all, I had the pleasure of knowing Hazel for a long time, and I had the pleasure of serving with her on the community board number 10. And let me say this to you. Earlier she was called royalty. And she's royalty. But it's not because she hangs out with presidents, which she does. When Hillary Clinton was running for president, she had Hazel on speed dial running all over the country with her. Not because she deals with governors, which she does. Andrew Cuomo doesn't even know what to do when Hazel comes to Albany. But she's royalty because in addition to all the things that she does and could be doing, she finds time to call Mayor de Blasio and tell him, if you don't pick up this trash on 135th Street, I'm going to come to City Hall and fix you something right. She is royalty because she sits on the community board and makes sure that Dabney Montgomery gets a street honored in his name. She is royalty because she can do all those things, all the fancy things, but she is right here on the block in the community making sure that Harlem moves forward from the smallest thing to the biggest thing. And I am so honored that she is still the chair of the Health Committee on Community Board 10. That's what royalty is about, someone who loves our community, and that's why we're honoring her today. So I'm honored to be here. I don't believe they want me to read this letter from the governor. No. I'll read the last paragraph. I hear Keith writing. No! No! I mean, I'm just doing what they tell me, Keith. All right. This is from your governor, Andrew M. Cuomo. We are fortunate to be served by such passionately dedicated leaders as Dr. Dukes, who has served with a deep and abiding concern for the statewide and nationwide Black community, and reflective of her sense of social consciousness and responsibility. All New Yorkers join to applaud Dr. Dukes on this auspicious occasion as you mark the official unveiling of a special plaque that will forever stand within the Harlem community.
I want to thank all of you for coming out today to acknowledge our queen, our Mama Dukes, that fights so hard every day. And I want to thank the Midgo organization for having this plaque unveiling to dedicate this to some of our heroes and sheroes. But I'm going to give you a history lesson when it's over to tell you about Percy Sutton, Basil Madison, Bessie Buchanan, Anna Baker Howard, Bruce Wayne. I give you a history lesson about the others that need to be named on the damn thing. So thank you so much.
2 minutes.
I took 1 minute.
Well, I just want to thank y'all for stopping by this afternoon. This is church day. Well, Rev, I'm going to stay underneath that 2 minutes. I mean, a lot have been said, and there's so many more things we can say about this wonderful woman. But what I want to say about her, as it pertains to me, she's always made me feel welcome, a part of. I haven't got to the point where I've been cussed out, but I've gotten that eye that says you don't want to get cussed out, so you want to beckon your ear to what I have to say. So I adore you, I love you, I admire you. You are walking legend history to those in this city, in this state, and you're not limited to this, because when you go to fight and champion for those causes of the NAACP, the entire nation benefits from that. So I'm going to jump off this, or they tell the preacher he got to go. But I just want you to know, you are deeply loved by all of us up in here. And when he finishes, we're going to give you a little something together, all right? I'm sorry. Mr. John Liu.
I'll take all my time. Mama Dukes, I just want to say it has been, believe it or not, almost 23 years since I met you as I was part of the NAACP Flushing branch. And she was the head of the state NAACP back then. And she's been my mentor ever since, and today I am so proud and honored to be here at this very special celebration with you. Thank you all for being here.
proclamation from New York State. The governor ain't the only one here.
This is the state united. Our community will get the best we have to offer.
All right.
I want to thank all of Albany for coming. And I hope y'all realize how clever Albany was. They came up together and spoke individually. You see how people play you? We're going to be united and come together. Now it's your turn and your turn and your turn. That's right. They didn't get elected by accident. Albany knows what they're doing. And we're glad they're fighting for us. So thank y'all. Thank you, Governor Cuomo. We know you're not here. Thank you for sending a letter. And thank you to the Albany team. Next, we want to bring up somebody who has a really tough job. Because for over 4 decades, the Congress had a person named Charles Rangel who represented our community. And when he decided to move on, to move to the next phase of his life, somebody had to step in. And it was not an easy thing to do. But he's doing the best he can, and we appreciate him being here today. So we're going to bring Congressman Adriano Espaillat to the podium.
Thank you. I'm here to bow to Mama Dukes. I agree with Assemblyman Al Taylor. It's not about cursing, it's just about a look. And when they give you that look, you just gotta bow your head down and keep on walking, right? And say nothing. But let me say this, Hazel. This is a special moment because I think all communities, but particularly Harlem, right, is filled with historical sites and legends, really. And we should not forget that the work of those folks should be documented in a permanent way. Don't take it for granted that people will remember. History has been askew in a way that many of the folks that have contributed in tremendous ways have been left behind and forgotten. So this plaque here is important not just because of the legacy and the tradition and the work of Hazel Dukes, because in the future, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, a grandmother may tell her grandchild, listen, meet me on 137th Street and Clayton Boulevard, right by the Hazel Dukes plaque, right there. And that grandchild may ask her, who was Hazel Dukes? And she will say, she was the Queen of Harlem, right? And then she will explain to that grandchild what she stood for and how she fought. And that's how history is written, and that's how communities stay alive. So this plaque is oxygen. It's life support. It's mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. It is a blood transfusion for Harlem that will remain there for decades to come. God bless you and keep the faith.
Thank you, Congressman. We want to acknowledge Community Boards 9, 10, and 11. Our Community Board members present.
Yes.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. And thank y'all for not being Albany and coming up here to all speak at one time. Thank you. We are going to bring up another special person in our entire city, but especially for Harlem, our Manhattan Borough President, Gail Brewer.
Thank you very much. It is a huge honor to be here. It's a beautiful plaque for a beautiful human being. And there's only so many things that this amazing Dr. Dukes has done. But the one I remember is very recent. I could not believe it. It was a running race that Lloyd Williams every year has this friggin' running race. And who comes in from the running race but Dr. Dukes? I'm not kidding. Here she was, hot day, one more amazing aspect of this amazing woman. And I do want to echo those who have said between the community board and then able to pick up and get any president, except this one, on the phone. That's an amazing attribute, because when you sit through those community board meetings, and I love community boards, they're hell on wheels to sit through those community boards, and yet she does that. And she understands the local issues, and she understands the national issues. So I'm here just like everybody else to say that it's an honor and a pleasure, and I have to say working with Dr. Dukes on education is particularly important to me, where we fight those. I don't know if everybody feels this, but she and I feel the same way about charter schools. We support our public schools like Wadley, and we need to do that. And she understands that, and has been doing that for years. So she has many Hazel-isms. But one of them is, there is no such thing as having a day off. Racism, oppression, and injustice go to work every day. They strike most often when you are relaxed on vacation or sleeping late. Dr. Dukes is never relaxed, she's never on vacation, and she is never sleeping late. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gail. We appreciate you. Now we're going to bring up another dynamic person, special to Harlem, and I know special to Dr. Dukes, our New York County leader, Mr. Keith L.T. Wright.
I can still get up. Like the Apollo Theater, I have to, like the tree of hope, you have to rub me up. Like Harriet Tubman, Fannie Lou Hamer, Rosa Parks. We have our fighter for civil rights right here in Harlem. Although I do remember when I first got my first job with David Dinkins, in Basil Patterson, they used to call her the Dukes of Nassau. And one of the best decisions she's ever made was to move into 10 West 135th Street. And yes, I get balled out. I've gotten a look, because I see her in the bank, and I see her in the store. But you know what? No issue is too big or too small for Hazel Dukes to fight for. I can recall on one of the coldest days of the year, Hazel and I were walking arm in arm. And I'm talking about Sub-Zero with Michael Hardy and the National Action Network on police misconduct and police brutality. And I can also remember if there was a problem with any sort of person helping them out with their health care, trying to get a job, Hazel is right there. So with that, Hazel and Brother Migdal and the Migdal family, I want to say thank you. Hazel, may the force be with you.
I don't even know what to say about that right there. Church to Star Wars, but we make it happen. That's Harlem for you. Never know what you're gonna get. Dr. Dukes wears a lot of hats. She's contributed in a lot of different ways. And one of the important affiliations she has is with her sisterhood, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I knew that was about to happen. So, representing the Deltas, we're going to ask the president of the North Manhattan Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Rory Mills, to please come forward.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I am Rory Mills, the proud chapter president of the North Manhattan Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Delta Sigma Theta was founded on January 13th, 1913 on the campus of Howard University by 22 college-educated women. The North Manhattan Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was chartered on December 13, 1980, and continues to successfully impact the lives and communities within the Washington Heights area and beyond through the sorority's principles of sisterhood, scholarship, and service. North Manhattan Alumni Chapter is a movement, not a monument, that prides itself in delivering innovative programming with a far-reaching impact through our 5-point programmatic thrust. North Manhattan is home to over 200 women who remain steadfast in exemplifying our biennial theme: joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, service in our heart. We're gathered here today to celebrate one of our champions, Dr. Hazel Dukes. It's not often that you meet people who say what they mean and mean what they say. As a woman of Delta, she wears many hats and demonstrates true, authentic leadership. But more importantly, she is dedicated to her calling as an activist for our civil rights and teaching the new generation. I can always count on her and know that she is never too busy for me. Sora Dukes, on behalf of your chapter, North Manhattan Alumni, we celebrate you and your works because they have paved the way for so many and for those to come. Congratulations, and we love you.
Thank you so much. And now we're going to hear from the president of the Metro Manhattan chapter of the Links Incorporated, Dawn Hankins.
Thank you. I am one of Hazel's children, right? Hazel is a mentor, a friend, a confidant, a leader among leaders, and amongst her Metro Manhattan Link sisters, we are proud that she is receiving this honor today. Hazel is a true sister, a friend. We are linked in friendship and connected in service. She has served us as a charter member and as a chapter president. She works tirelessly as our chair for national trends and services in our chapter and their Eastern area NGO representative. And we are so proud of all of her energy and all of her work and everything that she is always doing for our community. She brought us to Thurgood Marshall Academy as a strategic partner because she is concerned about what's going on in the schools in the community of Harlem. She has taught us about working on the census and homelessness and food insecurity in this neighborhood and all of the work with the community board, and you wonder how Hazel finds the time. But she does, and she finds this time to still show up at all of our life events and celebrate with your children and graduations and birthdays. And she's there for all of our life events, and I'm so proud and happy to be here to celebrate you. And I know all of us are here, several of our Link sisters, whether from Metro Manhattan or from other chapters, if you just kind of give a wave or say hello, we are here with you. And we are so proud of you. We love you, Hazel, and thank you.
Thank you so much. A couple of other people we'd like to acknowledge. All of the judges that are present. Can we get a wave from our judges that are present? We also want to acknowledge the family of Governor David Patterson.
Yes.
And we also want to honor our former borough president, C. Virginia Fields. Lest we never forget. And now we want to bring up, I think, just checking. We also like to bring up one of the brothers, one of the pillars of this community, helping us not just with our event today, but with the movement forward of our entire community. The minister of Mosque number 7, the minister Hafiz Mohammed.
That's Abdul Hafiz Mohammed. To our dear sister, Dr. Hazel N. Dukes and her family, to the reverend clergy that's here and elected officials, to the Migdal organization, to the community. On behalf behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who loves you dearly, and as you have loved him, and on behalf of the East Coast region of the Nation of Islam and Mosque number 7 here in Harlem, it's an honor to be here. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, so nobody going to have to put up the black power fist. We're going to say what we have to say. I want to thank the members of the Fruit of Islam that's here with me. That's here with me today. That's in military uniform and others that are here to make sure we're secure here in Harlem. This is a woman who is royal, regal, and a Renaissance woman. Oftentimes when people die is when we put a sign up.
Yeah.
And when there's a funeral, we speak well of them. Congressman Rangel, there was a preacher one time doing a funeral, and the people came up to testify at the wake service of the person in the casket, but the preacher had to walk out to make sure he was at the right service because he knew that the lies they were telling about the one line in that casket wasn't the right one. But today we can speak nothing but al-haq, the truth of this woman that's here. She's a trendsetter. Give to each other flowers while you live.
All right.
So on this day, Sister Hazel, to your family, we give you flowers while you live, while you yet breathe, hear, see, feel, and touch. And you are no way near as finished or is tight. But I'll say to the sisters who came up from the sorority and all of us who are here, the young black girls that are growing up around the country, and here in Harlem, the human family, learn from her, then do as she has done. Sit at her feet and learn to be selfless in your service. Learn. Let's not wear out those that have come before us. Let's keep Congressman Rangel around. He's 89. I represent a leader, Minister Farrakhan, who's 86 and popping and going strong, looking 45. But all of us got to keep working. So you are deserving of this while you live. Let's stop doing things for people while they're alive.
All right
and
now.
not when they're 6 feet under the ground. All right? I'll leave you by saying this. Stop complaining about everything you ain't got. Stop blaming it on D.C. Stop blaming it on upstate. Every day above ground is indeed a blessed day. Another day to solve a problem. And another day to receive a bountiful blessing from a wonderful Creator. Thank you for having us. Thank you for honoring me, our dear sister. Assalamu alaikum. You should have got it.
Once again, Minister Abdul Hafiz Muhammad, Mosque number 7.
Yeah, he's got a cell phone camera.
We also would like to acknowledge Hilda Solomon, I apologize. Female Democratic District Leader, 68 AD, Part A. Thank you so much. I apologize for messing up your name. Hilda Solomon, I apologize. Reverend Al Sharpton was unable to be here, but Michael Hardy is here in his place. Michael Hardy.
Yeah, he is. There he is. Michael.
I wanted to acknowledge the National Action Network and Reverend Al Sharpton. Also unable to be here, United States Senator Kristen Gillibrand. But she did send a letter that has been beautifully framed, and we will leave for the Dukes family to read at their leisure.
Smart. That's smart.
Also, Mayor de Blasio was able to be here. Also sent a beautifully framed letter for the Dukes family. We appreciate them acknowledging Hazel Dukes in that way. We know they wish they could be here, but we acknowledge them in their absence. Now we would like to hear from First Vice President of the NAACP New York State Conference, Jeffrey Eaton.
My sisters and brothers, all of us today stand on the shoulders of Harriet, Ida B., Fannie Lou, Rosa, Coretta, Merle, and Dr. Hazel N. Dukes. Strong, courageous black women who not only represent the soul, but they represent the legacy, the history, and the struggle and the survival of blacks in America. I'd like the members of NAACP please stand up at this time. Dr. Dukes, on behalf of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the Honorable Leon Russell, our Chairman, our Vice Chairman Karen Boykin-Towns, our President and CEO Derek Johnson, Region 2, and the New York State Conference. As this association celebrates the 110 years of this association, we celebrate you today. On a personal note, I love you very much. God bless you. Thank you for your service.
To me personally, she has been a mentor, a colleague, a board member, a soror, and amazingly a friend, which has been an unforgettable and remarkable experience. As a young black woman, well, relatively young black woman, trying to make my way in this world, she has taught me 3 very important things. She would say, she still says, baby, you gotta first toughen up, you gotta listen up, and you don't give up. She has always been there for me, and I really appreciate it. Sorry. And though Dr. Dukes, you have gotten so many honors, today the honor is ours to be here with you. And this landmark is something that we will look at for years to come, along with the lessons that we have learned. We love you and thank you so much.
Anytime any of us needed Hazel, she was there. You didn't call her up and ask, are you available, can you come? You just look out and she'd be there. She's helped so many of us for so many years that it's appropriate that this acknowledgement of her many contributions you have today. So knowing that you were wrapping up the program, I will not speak further. My brother Charlie Ranger told me, you know, he and Percy don't talk too long. People waiting.
Take your time, David.
My brother, you know, Charlie Rangel's a hero. Y'all know that? Yes. I just want to be clear. He's a hero. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. So, sir, if you would continue with the program, I'd highlight it. Thank you. Very nice jacket.
This is the day that the Lord has made. And I come rejoicing in it.
Okay.
To my only child, my son Ronald Duker. To his wife, who is my daughter, not daughter-in-law. If I had to have chosen her, I would have, but he did it on his own with a good sense. To the clergy, to my... This is the day of rejoicing and reminiscing. I had a conversation this morning with Keith Lilly. I said, Keith, David Weaver, he called me his diva, said during his lifetime, I'm going to do something in Harlem for you because you came here in Harlem and you embraced me and all. David would have been in pride today. I don't know what drew me to David, but we were soulmates together. And when David passed, our community board, we talked about different things. Where's Manny? I saw Manny. Yeah. Manny. Plus some awesome people. Then I said to Keith, I said, you know, my mother and father is not here today. And I said, a man that really brought me to the people of Harlem. I lived in Nassau County for 32 years out of Queens, was Basil Patterson. Basil, Charlie, David, and Percy made me. They said they were a gang of 4. But back in the background, that was the 5th one, and that was me. I served as secretary for David during his time as the president of the Council of Black Elected Officials. You guys were nowhere around. I don't even think he was born. I served with these men of distinction, and they took me everywhere with them. So this whole thing, Mother Ellie, about black women and black men, I don't know where that come from. Because these guys embraced me and took me all over with them. Matter of fact, Basil was so bad till he did Don Manny's in. There was a seat, Virginia, for a black woman. This is when the Democratic Party started coming to its senses. That they wanted to give everybody a seat at the table. And so Basil was vice chair of the National Democratic Party. And that night they went in, and Manny said, well, I have 2 women. Helen Marshall, who's deceased now, and Juanita. I got 2 women. And Basil said, well, I got 1. Hazel Dukes of Nassau. Dukes of Nassau. Don Manny said, well, who is that? He said, well, you don't know it, but I do. So that's what I have. So that's how I became a national Democratic woman. Nobody. Because Basil Patterson. So when Matt Deakins and Bill Lynch decided that I would become the president of New York City All-Track Betting, Koch had put in under his tenure that you couldn't be a commissioner or anything higher. If you were a commissioner or higher, you had to live in the city. So I had my beautiful place with my garden and everything. Living a good life in Roslyn. That night when Bill called me and said tomorrow, I gotta get this good party increase. My mother had been diagnosed with myeloma cancer. And so I had to go back to Montgomery that evening. Lynch called me and he said, look, the mayor want to announce tomorrow, because he's going to catch hell, that he's appointing you president of New York City All-Track Betting. I said, but Lynch, I got to go. I got doctors on standby. He said, well, let me talk about it. Next call I got was from Basil Patterson. Look, you go to Montgomery and you come back and you get a place. I said, no, I'm going to live in the NAACP apartment. He said, no, you're not. We had a beautiful place on Central Park. He said, no, you're not. The post is waiting on you. You're going to have a place in your name. You're going to have the light bill in your name. You're going to have the water bill in your name. So, lo and behold, they called Lou Root They said, Lou, you got any vacant apartment on East 68th Street? Can you believe this? I didn't have no bed, no nothing. A woman named Marcella Maxwell. And these deceased Ray Gibson, they went to, where's Marcella? They went to Bloomingdale, bought a bed, 2 chairs, and moved me in while I was on a plane going to Montgomery, Alabama. Then the next thing I knew, Marcella said, I have a decorator. She called a decorator, and they began to decorate the apartment. Then there's a young lady, when the mayor appointed me, this is my day, but I gotta tell you all some history in Harlem. Come on, some of you all are crazy. You got mental problems. Be on that school, to be on that community board. So ungrateful. You sit at home and watch as the world turns. And we out there beating up everybody we can, and you come and cuss us out.
All right.
Preach. For doing your work. Miss Nixon, I was in church with her. She's 92 years old. 98. And never miss a board meeting. That's right. Never miss talking to the man. That's right. And you millenniums. Talk about how old we are. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be here. Most folks got jobs because Dave Dickens was in City Hall. That's right. You wanted him to come to a fish fry. All right now. While you was doing your work. Y'all so silly. No, this is my day, and I was Now we just brought, I wouldn't have got on that school boat, Virginia Fields called me up and talk about I was straightening it out. Where's Gatsby? On Saturday, when Virginia was running for borough president, was nobody out in the hot sun but me and Gatsby. Y'all didn't even have enough sense to understand what the borough president was about. Yo-yos. Virginia appointed me on the community board. You know what kind of power we could have if all of us got on the same page. Not coming in there raising hell, but talking about gentrification. Well, you let it be gentrified. I just tell everybody. She said, y'all ran from Harlem, but I stayed here. This is my Harlem. She said, crack was all around me. Everything. She said, but I stayed here because my daddy and my uncle, they planted some here. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Right. Lloyd Williams tried to bring us to Havana, Germany. I don't know where the hell we were going. But trying to give us culture. People come here for that. This morning, you have another jewel just came to Harlem. I want you to meet the Reverend Malcolm Bird, who is 30 in his 30s, just came to Mother Bailey Zion. I was there this morning to tell them, they're not going to lose Mother Zion. They might be selling others in Harlem, but they ain't losing Mother Zion. comes from Hempstead, Long Island. You see, I raised them from everywhere. He came from Hempstead. And I told him this morning in that church they better get it together because they don't want me to skip from 135th Street up there to Mother Zion. All right. Now, the people I live with is here. 10 West. Stand up, 10 West. Little Scaries going somewhere? No. Little Scaries ain't going nowhere. Right? So y'all just might as well calm down. And they better calm down. Because we ain't having what they want. We gonna have what we want. Because we are voting people. That's right. You guys who don't register to vote, you can't be in this fight. Right. You can't say that. Because ain't nobody thinking about you. You have given your power away. I stand on Mega Evers. The young people say there's no need to vote. Tell them that Mega died before King died. Tell them that Mega died in his yard after getting people to register to vote. So if they don't have nothing else, they ought to respect their people who have died before them. Now I want these presidents of the NAACP to stand up. They the ones that cussed out. Instead of carrying my leadership people. They get beat up because it is an advocate. We're not social service. We're not social service. We don't do the social service work. We're the advocates. We make social service. People do their service. Our role is to be advocates. We are advocates to these elected officials. We cover their back. They can't say what I can say. They elected. They can't say what I can say to the government because they elected. Amen. I don't want nothing from Cuomo but to do right. The NAACP don't get no checks from the governor or from the city. Never have under my tenure. So I'm free and free indeed. Say whatever I want to say. Stand up, Chris. This young lady has worked for me how many years? Since 72. Wow. Whoa. She came to work for me as a young person and now she's a senior. Come on, Chris. Stand up, Paul and Hildy.
Oh, your turn.
I've had them about almost as long as Chris. Right, almost as long as Chris. And I have my young people from my church. My goddaughter, stand up, Neva. All the way from Roswell. Stand up, Margaret. Stand up, Geneva. Stand up, George. These are my young people. I teach Sunday school. I teach Sunday school. You can't do this work unless you love the Lord. You know the crabs in the basket. You ain't going, and I'm not going. But I keep butt so I can go. Michael Harley, Reverend and I met Monday morning. on some crucial issues that's facing us in our city. I don't have any permanent enemies. I have permanent friends and permanent interests. All right. Yeah. So for those who don't like me, it's okay with me. All right. To my link sisters, to my sorority sisters, we love you. And I love you. But if you're not doing anything, I don't. My brother Michael, where's Michael Garner? My niece, Stacy Lynch, who I beat up all the time. Right. Yeah. Her dad was a mastermind. Yes. Bill Lynch, we miss him so much. Because some of this mess would be straightened out if he was around. But let me talk about the martyr. Come on here. Where's your son? Come over here. Chris told me that Keith Lilly wanted to meet with me, and they worked on some things. I said, what do Keith want now? I done made the robot calls for the judges. Made robot calls for him. Gonna help him. What was it he want to be, Manny? Manny, what did he want to be, a leader or something? I don't know. But whatever he wanted to be, I was with him. So they came to my house, and he came in with these two fights. Well, I know he didn't come to arrest me. We've been working on some things. We've got some more things to work on, but y'all got to vote. And you got to be counted in the census. If you don't be counted, you ain't going to be able to walk nowhere because we won't have the place. So Keith Lilly walked into my house, and I didn't think Keith would bring some white people to arrest me in our house. After Keith got there, here come Manny. Stand up, Manny. Stand up, Manny. Stand up, Manny. They come into my house 11 o'clock. Left about 5. Drink them all my water. That wine. Sell it. And then so they decided to introduce me. And so Mr. Murdoch gave me all of this about what he had done in Harlem and what he thought. I said, well, I wasn't born in Harlem. I was born in Montgomery, Alabama. And I said, I've only been around in Harlem for 18 years. Well, y'all didn't know that. You thought I lived here all the time. Till Basil would talk about Dukes from Nassau. Shut up. But I'm one of the founding members of the 100 Black Women with Jewel McCain. So they really didn't know where I lived. But I wasn't homeless. And so this family, him and his son, came and told me about what they had done here in this community. As you heard about Borough President Brewer and Virginia and Jeff, all of us went. The new chancellor hadn't gone to the bathroom. That's right. That's right. The day we met him. That's right. man had just got here. But we was big and bad. We said, you're not closing down our school. That's right. You don't care what the other folks say. And so I told them about education, and they told me about what they were doing. You know, when you get Charlie and David and my age, we know phony people when we see them. Don't even have to say nothing to us. We know they phony.
All right now.
And so I looked at the son. And he went on to tell me about his history and what he loved. And I said to myself, yeah. And today, I got over here about 1 o'clock. Neighbors came and said to me how proud they was of this building. That never any disturbance in their block because of the people living in this building. And that's been my life work. Not for those who have letters behind their name, and that's good.
Right now.
And I have some. But it's for those less fortunate. For those who've been marginalized. Not for what they've done, but for racism and discrimination in this country. 400 years, we didn't ask to come here. We was in the bottom of the slave ship. When I had a chance to go with my link sisters to God and to make sure every man and woman, boy and girl, regardless of the race, creed, or color, or their sexual orientation, I will fight to make sure that in this country, in this America, who is already great, but have some things that we need to make better for all of us. And so to the family who have shown your love for Harlem and for the people of Harlem, I accept your gracious acknowledgement of you today from the bottom of my heart. On behalf of my mom and my dad, my grandparents who are not here today, for my only child, Rhonda, for my daughter, Jan, my motto has been, if I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. Thank you so much.
A blessing. Today we have honored someone who was blessed to become a blessing. This one has touched our lives. Everyone here has been touched by her, and she is a blessing. She's a labor of love. And so we want to pray with all hearts ready and open to receive this labor of love. The Lord acknowledges it, so we're going to acknowledge it. Amen? I appreciate you so much. Most gracious and eternal Father, Lord, we come before you saying thank you for your daughter, for all that you've allowed her to do and to accomplish by your way and in your sight. Lord, we ask you to keep her in all of her going out and coming in. She's still moving, you still have her going, and nothing has stopped her. So we ask that you continue her on. She keeps talking about her son and her family, but she has many children. She's touched their lives. We love her, but most importantly, you love her more and even better. We thank you for this great event. We thank you for every speaker. We thank you for all of their labor. We thank you that because without you, nothing could be possible. We bless you because we know and understand that with you, all things are possible. We thank you for the Migdals. We thank you that they're in the family. They're engraved, Lord. They've done things that many others would not do. We thank you for all that have put this event together. Those that walked into Mama Duke's house and sat down and drank up all of her water. We bless
bless you that she had water to give. We thank you that it doesn't stop here, but as everyone has said, every saint, every servant that has touched that plaque, that it'll be here for those that are coming by. We bless you for what we've gotten today. We thank you for this, not only woman, but this woman of God. We thank you for her. We ask you, Father, to extend her life so that she can continue to do Sunday school, if nothing else. We give you all the honor, glory, and praise. If no one blessed the food, I wasn't here, we ask you to do that as well. The gathering as well. We are community. And in Jeremiah, it reminds us every day that we serve a God that is working in our city. So we give you praise, we give you honor, and we give you glory. Please bless the people. Bless them and keep them. Put your eyes on them. Lift up your countenance to them. And most importantly, give them peace. It is in your precious name that we have prayed. Amen? 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 And amen. The Lord bless you all.
For the Queen, Hazel N. Yeah! Congratulations, Ma Duke. Come on, we can do better than that. Give it up for Hazel.
My motto has been, if I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. Thank you.